Hi.
Hey guys, welcome back to this channel. In this video, we're going to talk about should you withdraw from your superannuation during COVID-19.
Australian only, right?
So there's an announcement from the government that currently you are entitled to withdraw $10,000 from your superannuation.
So it's $10,000 for this financial year, and then next financial year from July the 1st, 2020, you can withdraw another $10,000 from your super if you choose to.
If you choose to, due to this pandemic with COVID-19 and what's been happening around the world, let's say.
So is it a good deal?
So for us, we're looking at it, is it a good idea or not? So yeah, there was an article that I read
early this week
or so. Now, apparently, some people probably thinking about that because they do lose their job. They are finding a lot of, financial hardship situation. There's a lot of people out there that is week in, week out, who rely on that job.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yet at the same time, if you're trying to access for government's subsidies, you may have to take some time.
Yep.
Till May. Now is 1st of April. And
between now till that money coming in.
1 month, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got rent to pay, you got food to
food
put on the table for your kids or your family.
Electricity, school, still going ahead.
Yeah.
So your typical expenses just to breathe, it's cost you money in here. So I guess when the government announced that that you can access that super fund now, I guess for some people out there have that train of thought of thinking of getting that money out. For us, we kind of don't want to rely on that.
It's our future money. It's not much, but it's our future money, and that is a big unknown. If you take out the money, and then what will happen in the future?
Yeah.
Right. We read it about if you are 45.
I mean, give you this is an approximate figure. So if you were taking 10 now, 10 after June, so let's say $20,000 at the end of this year or so. If you're 45 years old, that's equates to roughly about $50,000
when you retire. Yeah, because there will be 20 years compound interest and rolling.
Yeah.
So if you're 35,
it gets worse. If you're
the younger you are, the bigger risk, or the more money you will lose out.
Yeah, it gets worse and worse. I guess some people, I get it that you're struggling now, but is that $10,000 worth it, or that $20,000 worth it? I mean, at 35 years old, which is this is our age bracket, young family struggling to survive with young family, as they do require a lot more money in a sense.
Yes.
Or any family alone.
Yes.
So if you're 35 and you're taking $20,000 now, what that dollar figure look like over until you retire at, let's say, 60 or 65 or so, that can equate to about $80,000. Taking 20 now, it's going to cost you $80,000 at the end. And that's in assumption that you're not doing anything extra.
No, just leave the money as it is.
Then it gets worse if you're 25.
What's the number?
The number is about $130,000 that you potentially losing
when you retire.
That is massive.
It's worse than deferring payment with the loan.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. With the deferred payment on your loan alone, I think it's roughly about, let's say, 10 or 20,000. Something like that.
50K.
Depending how old is the loan. Some of them is like 10, 20, maybe 50, and that's 30-year loan. Yeah. Whereas this one, it can get up to $130,000 that you'll be losing out. So
is it worth it?
Is it really worth it? Like, depending on your circumstances. Like
Yes.
I can't speak for anyone because we're not taking that path.
Yep.
We're not taking money out from our super, and yeah, that's not in our mindset. But if you are, for those of you who are thinking
Yes.
of taking that path of, you know, withdrawing, yes, it is in a sense a free tax, like there's no tax involved or something like that, but is it really worth it? You gain 20 now, but in the future of losing out of 50 potentially. Like a lot of people are always saying, you know what, this will end sooner or later.
Yeah.
You know, we're bound
Another
to find
pandemic will come.
we're bound to find a vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
But between now and then, I understand that there's a lot of struggle involved.
Yep.
But yeah. Anyway, maybe use this as a last result. Use alternatives, like do whatever it is that you can do. Use
Just be cautious. Budget your money. Try to minimize your spending. Finish all your canned food first.
baked bean and rice, if you can buy rice. So far, no. But yeah, cut everything else. Netflix, services.
Any entertainment, subscription,
buying,
cut those
dining
first.
out, eating more at home, and
Don't get takeaway.
like
Takeaway is simple. We are allowed to do it, but it costs you a lot more money.
so. Use that as a last result.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it makes it harder anyway to apply to get that superannuation. It's not as easy as, hey, yo,
I don't know. I
get
didn't
my
even
money
check.
out. So,
I don't even check, but you're entitled.
you're entitled to
do
do it, but I'm sure there's a lot of hoops to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Anyway, who should use this strategy if they have no other resort?
so for us, if you have,
what we think.
what we think is like, if you have a terminal illness, then yes, you probably consider doing that. If you're a temporary resident, thinking of permanently living here,
Yeah, you don't really need your super.
yeah, if you are definitely 100% not coming back
Mm-hmm.
to come, and then
Back to Australia. Yep. And you are in severe financial hardship.
really, really severe.
You are owing too much everywhere. Personal loan, car loan, mortgage, any loan that you are talking about, credit card, you can't pay it off. Yes, do it.
Possibly.
Yes.
Even that alone, like I try not to.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
Um,
And if you're close to retirement age, for example, you're already at 60s, few more years, because for that few more years, it takes time for the stock market to get back to where we were for a few months ago. It takes time to recover, and you need a long time for the stock market to recover to where we were. But for sure, based on history, it's going to higher and higher with depression, recession, pandemic, panic, war. It will go up eventually, but it takes time. That's why if you're close to your retirement age, you're going to access to your super anyway, then you can, I think it's fair enough to do it.
but if you're young, then no. If you can still work, then no.
Yeah. Correct.
Like try other things as well. Like at the moment, I don't want to rely on government. That maybe access the government funding, because like job seeker or job keeper.
They have the 750 one-off payment as well coming soon.
So there's a lot of other alternative instead of using your super.
Yes.
Use what else is there? And if you do decided to do that, if you do decided to, let's say, access your super now, when you are get back on your feet, don't just forget about that.
Yeah, you have to pay the debt.
There's no such thing as free lunch in a sense. Like if I was the people that is taking out the super now due to whatever reason, then I would recommend to pay back whatever that money that you've taken out plus a little bit more, because you're bound to be losing a lot more on that.
Yeah, because you have to pay the catch up. Because you took it out and your line was going up, and you took the money out, and it takes a longer time for you to go back up there. So once you start working again, once everything's settled, then maybe do salary sacrifice, or like we said, pay more back in there, and just keep it going. I'm sure we can survive.
So, but yeah, it's pretty much like at the moment, if you are thinking withdraw, so that means you're selling. Everything's going down the hill at the moment, and you're selling them when it's actually
Really
going
low
down
price.
at a very low price. So you're pretty much sacrificing your cash or your profit.
Your retirement saving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's our thought. So yeah, for those of
Let
you,
me know what you think as well.
yeah,
Do you think it's a fair deal?
is it a good idea? $20,000 now, and with
Possible
the
100k.
100k plus that you'll be
Yeah.
losing. So
If you can hold on to it, please, not to. All right.
alright, cool.
See you next time.
Bye.
Be safe.